Hi, Anime Rangers. Today we're diving into episode 2 of the Unaware Atelier Master. If you missed episode 1, don't worry, just click the pop-up here to catch up. The episode kicks off with some serious trouble for the Dragon Fang party. They're mid-battle with a massive, angry-looking tree monster, but something's off. Galvana can't summon his fire. No flaming sword for him today, and nobody knows why. To make things worse, Isadora's healing magic is barely working. More like a gentle pat on the back than actual healing. And the new guy they brought in to replace Kurt? Yeah, turns out he can't use fire either. Not exactly helpful when you're fighting oversized kindling. The whole team looks stressed, except for Bandana. She's just standing there, licking her lips like she's watching her favorite drama unfold. Girl is thriving in their misery, and she's not even hiding it. Now we're back with Yushira and Kurt, having a quiet moment away from all the chaos. Yushira is telling him about the offer she got from the royal shopkeeper. Basically, if Kurt agrees to work with them and handle the royal magic crystal supply chain, they'll make him a duke. A duke. Fancy title, big responsibilities, noble status, the whole shiny package. But Kurt? Nah. Titles and boss life aren't his thing. He doesn't want to command anyone or wear velvet capes. He just wants to work alongside Yushira. For now. Deep down, though, he's still thinking about going back to the Dragon Fang party. Yup. Those guys. Let me remind you, they kicked him in the stomach, laughed in his face, and threw him out like yesterday's leftovers, calling him weak and useless. But he still wants to go back. Maybe he's got something to prove. Or maybe he's just built different. Yushira, meanwhile, is clearly relieved, and honestly kinda adorable when he says he'll stay with her a little longer. So it turns out Yushira's taxes still aren't paid. They need 10 gold, right? And she did get 500 gold from the royal shopkeeper, but for some mysterious reason, she only took 1 gold out of that stack. 1. I thought the whole point of that trip was to pay the taxes. She ends up stashing the other 499 gold in the Hello Hello workstation, without telling Kurt. Not shady exactly, but definitely weird. I mean, not complaining though. At least now they have an excuse to keep living here and mining the mountain instead of bouncing. And so begins the mining arc. Kurt takes her to a location he found, says it should be rich in materials, but tells her not to dig deeper than 50 meters. 50 meters. With what, exactly? Axes and shovels? Are they digging for treasure or trying to break into the Earth's core? And then, get this, Kurt just leaves. He's gonna dig somewhere else. Like this is Minecraft and he's got a second base or something. Turns out, though, Kurt was right about the spot. Yushira hits the jackpot. A big chunk of topaz, something they could probably sell for a nice pile of coins. She's thinking about asking Kurt to turn it into a magic crystal, but quickly checks herself, saying she shouldn't take advantage of him. Honestly, between you and me, I don't get why she can't ask him. They're a team, aren't they? What's wrong with using his skills if he's cool with it? Anyway, time to check on Kurt. Surprise, surprise. He's built an entire mine shaft, like a full-blown underground structure. This guy doesn't mess around. But when Yushira finds him and asks how it's going, he's actually kind of bummed. Why? Because he didn't find anything valuable. He thinks he dug in the wrong place. All he found was some weird silver rocks, called mithril. And he's convinced they're worthless, just because he found a lot of them. Now hold up. How do you know the name of the ore but not its value? Just because something's common in one spot doesn't mean it's not rare or valuable overall. I mean, look at diamonds. Hello? But hey, Kurt does finally explain why he thinks mithril is worthless. Apparently, in his mountain village, they used to mine so much of it that they just threw it away, like actual trash. Whole village tossing out mithril, which, plot twist, is worth more than gold and platinum. A village of absolute legends, or idiots. Probably both. They had a literal treasure trove and just chucked it like it was gravel. Anyway, what Kurt is looking for is orichalcum ore, aka the god's ore. It's so rare people treat it like myth. But Kurt, he casually says it's no big deal. You just have to dig 7 kilometers down. No problem. 7 kilometers. And of course, he did it in 8 hours. Because Kurt is apparently a one-man excavation drill. Sure. Why not? Fast forward 2 days, and mining time is over. They head back to Samela town to sell everything. And during that time, nothing major. Kurt built an entire tunnel from the mountain to the town. A tunnel that would take machines literal weeks to dig. This man did it in 2 days like it's just a hobby. And now it's already become a main road. And guess who's running the toll booth? Yushira. She's charging people fees for using the tunnel to pay for repairs, and conveniently now she has enough to cover the taxes she owed on the mountain. So, mission complete? Yeah, I'd say mission overachieved. We catch up with Kurt, strolling toward the Hello workstation, and who does he bump into? Bandana, in the middle of the street, looking surprisingly friendly. But yeah, don't let the smile fool you. We soon find out why she's suddenly all sunshine. Turns out, she left the Dragon Fang party. A lot went down. Back with the squad, Mr. Galvana, remember him? The fire guy who can't fire anymore, completely loses it. They go to this ultra-fancy restaurant, like elite level, takes months to get a reservation, and Galvana just skips the bill. Straight up dines and dashes while looking like a full-blown psycho. Bandana, not amused. She's already had enough of the party spiraling, and this was the final straw. But the real kicker? All Galvana wants is to eat Kurt's food again. His stomach is clearly in full regret mode for kicking Kurt out. Now here's where you might expect a redemption arc, right? A moment of clarity? A humble apology? Nope. Instead, he literally orders Bandana to teleport to the town where Kurt is, and, get this, make him cook for them any necessary, even if it means hurting Kurt. Yeah, real hero behavior. But karma's not asleep. The guards from the restaurant? Oh, they're on it. And Galvana, his flameless soul is about to get locked up. You can't just ghost a gourmet bill and walk away. Not in a high-end place like that. And that, my friends, is how the Dragon Fang party ends. But here's the twist. Kurt doesn't know any of that Dragon Fang drama. Bandana just tells him she was fired, same as him. No fire magic psycho, no unpaid dinner chaos, no guards on the hunt, just yeah, I got kicked too. Kurt, he looks genuinely sad about it. He still wants the gang to get back together someday, even after they booted him like yesterday's bread. Wholesome? Yes. Naive? Also yes. Anyway, Bandana switches gears and asks if he's job hunting, since he's standing right in front of the employment office, and lucky him she knows a guy who might need help. Apparently, there's only 15 officially licensed Atelier Masters in the entire kingdom, and one of them is in deep trouble. Sounds serious, right? Here's the thing, though. Bandana seems to understand Kurt's talent better than anyone else so far. Like, actually recognizes it. Look, anime rangers, we found a smart person. Smart enough to see value, and probably smart enough to take advantage of him, too. Still, credit where it's due. Bandana's playing chess while the rest of her ex-party is busy being hunted for skipping appetizers. So what is this workshop? Well, it turns out it's not just your average magic shop. This place sells magic crystals, enchanted swords, custom spells, basically high-tier magical goods. And get this, everything is crafted by Atelier Masters, who in this world are treated like literal nobility. These folks are on par with dukes. Fancy titles, fame, influence, the whole package. Naturally, Kurt is shocked. There's supposedly one of these elite masters here in Samela town. He's been around, and yet he never even heard about one living nearby. So he heads to the address Bandana gave him, and what does he find? A regular building. No fancy architecture. No crowds. Just a tiny little sign hanging above the door like it's your neighborhood herbalist. Definitely not Duke-worthy. Something's not adding up here. Still, he knocks. And who opens the door? A super enthusiastic elf assistant who, the second she hears Bandana sent him, lights up like it's her birthday. Finally, someone came to help us. She practically drags him inside, excited out of her mind. And that's where things start to get interesting. Interesting is definitely one word for it. So the excited elf, her name's Michelle. She drags Kurt straight into the building like he's the long-lost hero, and then promptly dumps him in the dirtiest, smelliest kitchen known to mankind. She tells him she's been too busy assisting someone to clean it, so, Could he maybe handle that? Yeah. After all that hype, turns out he's been summoned to do housework. Apparently, Michelle had no idea why Bandana sent him and just assumed he was the new cleaning guy. Honest mistake. Painfully honest. But you know what? Kurt doesn't complain. He rolls up his sleeves, puts in work, and cleans the whole disaster zone in 30 minutes flat. Now here's the thing. He finishes the job and realizes nobody gave him further instructions. So what does he do? He starts wandering around the workshop trying to find Michelle again, knocks on a random door, and from inside, a voice says, "Come in." Kurt opens the door and finds a half-naked girl staring back at him like this is a normal Tuesday. Yup, from dungeoning to smelly kitchens to unexpected fan service. Welcome to episode 2. So after that very awkward moment of surprise half-nudity, Kurt recovers and explains he's the new guy working here. The girl? She casually mentions that Lady Ophelia, who we're guessing is the mysterious Atelier Master, went down to the basement. But before he heads off, Kurt notices something really off. This girl has a weird mark on her stomach, not a tattoo, not some edgy aesthetic. Nope, it's a curse, and a serious one at that. It straight up looks like a black hole, and the vibe is not good. Now, most guys in his position would be thinking 100 different thoughts. But Kurt? He's locked in, fully concerned, zero pervy energy. He gently asks if he can examine it, just to check the severity, and when he touches her stomach, she doesn't feel any pain. Which should be a relief. But actually, that's worse. It means the curse has progressed way too far. She's lost sensation, can't even eat properly anymore because of it. So what does our boy do? Doesn't panic. Doesn't freak out. He just says, "I'll cook something you can eat, something your body will accept." A king, a healer, a chef. This man is out here restoring lives one meal at a time. Meanwhile, back in Samaela town, Yushira is having a little money chat with her shopkeeper friend after selling off all the goods from their mountain adventure. So, how much did the mithril and orichalcum fetch? Just a casual 50,000 gold. Yeah, let that sink in. 50,000. For materials that Kurt legit thought were trash. My guy out here tossing out legendary ores like they're potato peels. Now that the cash is rolling in, the conversation gets serious, because now they're asking the real questions. What's going to happen if people find out about Kurt? Assassins? Kidnappings? Noble families trying to recruit him into eternal indentured genius labor? How has he stayed hidden this long with insane talent like this? And honestly, how did nobody notice? Not his old party. Not his village. Not a single soul? Kurt might genuinely be unaware of how powerful and valuable he is, which makes the anime title feel extra accurate now, huh? But Yushira's got big plans. She wants to gradually make him an official Atelier Master, and even be his personal bodyguard once he's out in the world. So cute. She's planning his whole rise to power and his safety, while he's out here cooking dinner and minding his own business. The problem? She has no idea how to convince him to accept it all. Because Kurt isn't chasing titles or money, he's just vibing. But that's a story for another day. Because now, we're back to Kurt in the kitchen, about to cook a meal that might just break a curse. And finally, we meet Lady Ophelia, the Atelier Master we've been hearing so much about. She's got blue hair and the kind of elegance that you'd expect from someone of her status. Pretty? Definitely. Generous? Even more so, as she gives Kurt a solid sum for his work today. She's also thrilled that Kurt cooked for Liselotte, the cursed girl, and is happy to see her looking a bit better. Seems like the people around her were so worried about her curse that they kept her secluded from the outside world, and she doesn't even know how to dress herself properly because she's been so isolated. It's heartbreaking. She's in so much pain, but with the meal Kurt made for her, today she feels less of it. But things take a turn. As Liselotte digs into Kurt's food, she suddenly collapses, her body almost lifeless. Lady Ophelia immediately assumes poisoning. Kurt must have poisoned her, right? But then Liselotte gets back up, and she's smiling. She's cured. No shock, no surprise, just relief. Kurt the Cursebreaker strikes again. But not everyone is happy about this. Someone in the shadows orders Liselotte's assassination, post-haste. Now, Liselotte and Lady Ophelia head over to Yushira's shop to discuss business. But what could that business be? Well, turns out, Liselotte is the third princess of the kingdom. Wait, what? Lady Ophelia explains that Liselotte has been hidden away because she's the only heir to the throne, and there's danger surrounding her life. If she dies, the peace between the East Empire and the kingdom could shatter. But for now, the princess is safe, and the curse is broken. So when they ask how she managed to break it, she simply says, "A man named Kurt did it." Cue the Kurt from both Lady Ophelia and Yushira. Can't believe it, can you? And that's a wrap for this episode. Kurt's hidden talents are finally being discovered, but it looks like his journey is just beginning, and the stakes are getting higher. How will his actions change the fate of an entire kingdom? Will he accept his new role? And what's going to happen to our favorite curse-breaking cook? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know